Okay guys, a little bit of help on finding a dishwasher. I just picked this LG up. It's an LG ThinQ. It was $698 at Home Depot on sale Labor Day this past week. And I'll show you the model number. It's supposed to be a 42 decibel, so that's why it was like $800 or $900 on sale for, what do you call it? Why won't this thing focus? Okay, there we go. All right, you see the model number there? It's LDPH5554S. Okay, so the reason we got rid of a Samsung, which was perfectly fine, but kind of a builder grade, was because the dishes were annoying to stack in there. They had these strange prongs that were at an angle and strange like humps in here where the glasses wouldn't sit right and everything. Plus it was a little bit noisy. However, just to give you a heads up, I mean, I probably should have bought a Bosch. Everybody raves about the Bosch. I just didn't feel like doing the $1,000 dishwasher. The 800 series I think is on sale at Home Depot for like $900, and I almost did it, but it's got goofy prongs and it's got strange silverware stuff. I do not have any interest in stacking my silverware perfectly in little slots like the Bosch has. And the Bosch has these really tight little rungs and a tiny little silverware basket. I don't like to spend a lot of time. Throw it in the basket, throw it in the dishwasher, and wash it and make it clean. So, good looking dishwasher, stainless steel. Hopefully it doesn't have all the pitting on it like that builder grade Samsung had. It was probably a $500 dishwasher or $499 or something. But here's a couple of heads up on buying this thing. You know, you never know what you're going to get till you finally pull it apart and start to install it. So I had it delivered and I installed it myself. I don't really trust anybody else because, you know, the work quality that's out there many times. No offense to the guys who do good work, or gals. Anyhow, what's odd about this machine is both the electrical and water hookup are in the front. The water hookup's right behind this plate here in the front. The electrical's behind this plate in the front, which I found was a little awkward. It means you have to have longer lines to kind of help, you know, fish it in there and make sure it reaches before you slide it in the slot, obviously. The other thing with these solid counters, obviously you can't screw into the top like you normally would in the old days. So I had this metal plate in here that was installed previously because they used that metal plate to go into the sides of the cabinets with screws. And then the metal plate had holes in it so you could drill the typical little clips up into that. But it didn't work on this dishwasher, but I left it in there anyway. These clips were too far offset. I would have had to drill my own hole, and I just didn't feel like doing that at this point. So the secondary option was to screw through here and hit the cabinet to have some mounting screws. That worked out okay. I'm not as big a fan of that. I just wish it had standard brackets that would have been further in the center so I could just hit this plate, because I imagine this plate is like a standard tool or what a gizmo that you can buy, and unfortunately the holes only went to about here and the brackets were over here. Anyway, that's just luck. So supposedly a decent quality dishwasher. It had a good rating, somewhat. It's got the plastic covering still on it. Now, here's the bummer. Of course, they tell you to take the lid off and inspect it when they deliver it, which I did, and you always need to do that with everything. And I should have done a better job and looked closer, but it had a bunch of protective tape on it. The box looked fine, no damage whatsoever. And I literally spent, well, I actually spent 4 hours practically installing this thing, mostly because I had to take out the old one. I was being very careful not to mess up the floor, and I got interrupted like 10 times with phone calls and etc. But anyway, on and off, you know, 4 hours later, I square the thing up, level the thing up, adjust all the legs, and lo and behold, I get it perfect. What I thought was perfect, it's not. I found out I'm a little crooked now. And I find a dent, and I can't believe it. I actually saw like there was a bit of a dent up here on an internal bracket, and I never even noticed that the door, it's almost like it got dented at the factory, because this has no damage, no impact on the plastic, but you can see this is rippled up here and it's bent here, and the trim piece is caved in. And I noticed this literally, there was protective tape on here and covering, you know, it was hanging off the edge like this one, kind of covering that whole thing. And I go to pull it off and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That doesn't look like this corner, which is the nice clean corner, all straight and clean. So the moral of the story is be super cautious. The other thing that was odd about this dishwasher, they're so flimsy these days, they're all making garbage, unfortunately, is that somebody, or the weight that they put on this box, or some pressure they put on it with the dolly, pushed the floor of this up. It literally buckled, and I was like, what is going on? So this tray wouldn't slide in. It was hitting the propeller thing here, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I figured the propeller thing became dislodged and I had to pop it back on, but that wasn't the case, and I literally couldn't figure out what it was for like 30 seconds, and then I just kind of looked at the plate and this was bowed up. The whole stainless steel was bowed up. So I pushed it down and it went boink and popped back in. So that's kind of how wimpy they are. And the way the feet are on this thing, it's kind of a big plastic belly that until you jack it up on the legs, it kind of sits on the belly. So somebody must have put a lot of weight on this thing, obviously crushing the corner here that I didn't notice until the 12th hour. And then buckling that deck and making this basket not fit. So as I pressed that down, it fitted. And then I saw this, and so now I got to do the old silly exchange and have them ship another one, and at least the install will go much faster. Uninterrupted this time, I should be able to do it in 35 minutes. Literally, because I mean, the hose connections are fine. I don't care for them being up front here, because then you go to push it and it kind of gets up on top of the hoses and pinches the power line. And the power line cord that they gave me from Home Depot was one of those plastic insert ones. It didn't fit in the hole tight or anything. It was loose. It kind of popped in and out. So I had to kind of electrical tape that up so it stayed a little more secure. I don't know. This stuff is just so cheesy these days. Even when I mean, the damn thing out the door was like $8.15 delivered with the cords and the hose. And the hose, luckily I did order the hose. You know how you want to skip that? Because my hose is only, the dishwasher I took out was a 2021. So the hose was only, 3 years old. I was going to reuse it. It had a hose size fitting on it, garden hose size fitting, and this one has the little small pressure fittings on it. So they wouldn't have worked anyway. Good thing I got the darn hose. So always order all the stuff, the cord and the hose. You can always bring it back. But, I mean, the dishwasher looks good. I mean, it has that plasticized coating on it that will hopefully perform like the refrigerator. This thing's been awesome. This is a Samsung, though. And, but the Samsung dishwasher was garbage. It literally had rust spots all over it, stain spots. It was insane, and it's only a 2021 dishwasher. Anyhow, just hoping to get you guys a little help with these things because, man, they're hard to figure out. You got to kind of think of everything when you're in there. But one thing, like I said, is keep your eye out. I'll reiterate. I don't like to buy bent forks when all these things are at an angle because standard dishes, you got to fight with it. Nice straight forks are the best way to go, in my opinion. Just a big simple basket. I took those stupid little covers off so I don't have to put my silverware in there individually. And the same with the cup thing. The other Samsung, every time you put a cup in here, the darn thing would fall over. This one actually sits right. Like you put a cup in the Samsung and it would literally just keep falling over all the time and like trying to get out of there. So I don't know. Those are just little subtleties you got to kind of look out for. But hopefully this thing works out. I think I can get a little bit longer warranty by, registering it online and extend that. But again, this was like $698. I'll put a link down below to the exact model. You saw the model in the video. But, and then, delivery and everything, tax, $815, $820 to the door. Talk to you guys later. Hope that helps. Appreciate any likes and subscribes.